It covers more than 1/3 of our planet, more than all of the continents combined. For 200 million years, it has teemed with life, built new species. Its moods power weather systems, touching every creature on Earth. Leviathans are on the move. Gray whales headed south, hugging the coast of California. They left their feeding grounds in the Arctic 2 months ago and will swim nearly non-stop until they reach their destination. The gray whale has the longest mammal migration known, a 10 to 12,000 mile round trip. And it's all for this: 3 massive lagoons on the west coast of Mexico's Baja Peninsula. The first whales begin arriving in January. Pregnant females who conceived here last year have returned to give birth. The other adults are looking to mate. At 16 miles long and 4 miles wide, San Ignacio Lagoon is the last untouched whale nursery on Earth. Connected to the Pacific by a narrow sandy channel, it is an ecosystem unto itself. Ocean currents infuse these waters with food and visitors from the deep, each in its own season. Swarms of migrating squid feasted on by juvenile great whites. 4 of the world's 7 marine turtles feed here. Pristine mangroves host nesting birds in late fall. The tidal cycle is critical to the health of this ecosystem, down to the smallest invertebrate. Retreating waters flush the lagoon clean. Decaying matter is carried off into the ocean for recycling. The incoming tide brings nutrients and oxygen-rich water. The evergreen mangroves are hard at work 24 hours a day. An endless labyrinth of roots anchored in the sand buffers the salt marsh against hurricanes and storm surge. Down here, hundreds of species find shelter. Crabs, fish eggs, and hatchlings thrive in the shadows. At least 70% of the world's tropical fish need mangroves like these for part of their life cycle. The lagoon's bounty also draws airborne visitors. Osprey. These powerful raptors will build a nest on nearly anything to keep their young up and away from predators. The roof of an old outhouse works just fine. Adults hunt in shifts. Wandering crows would be glad to snatch a chick. At just a month old, they can't fly yet, but they know how to keep their room clean. With a lifespan of 20 years, osprey can cover more than 150,000 miles in search of good hunting grounds. No one knows how or when whales found this desert sanctuary, but it has everything a mother could want. A muddy bottom rich with food. Extra salty water helps newborns float. And while killer whales ambush calves in the open ocean, they wouldn't dare enter a shallow lagoon teeming with 1,000 adult grays. Mothers swim their calves back and forth across the lagoon, building up their strength and endurance for the long swim home. Whalers discovered Baja's nursery lagoons in the 1850s. Harpoon a calf, and you quickly learn what a 50-foot, 40-ton mother can do to a skiff. It's said that 1 in 4 whalers who worked these waters was maimed or killed. The survivors had another name for these ferociously protective moms: devilfish. Still, they hunted gray whales for nearly 100 years. The gray whale is now protected, and they seek us out. You are about to witness one of nature's great and grand mysteries, a phenomenon that began in the 1970s. It only happens in Baja's nursery lagoons. Mother whales approach fishing pongas with their calves. Some even lift their newborns up, eye to eye with the species that drove these whales to the brink of extinction. Some interactions last a moment, others an hour. When they leave the protection of the lagoons, the behavior stops. The Atlantic's gray whales were hunted to extinction. In the 1940s, there were just a few hundred Pacific grays left. Today, there are about 20,000. By May, the whales are gone, swimming north back to the Arctic. If this calf survives the wild Pacific, she'll be ready for motherhood in about 8 years. some migrations remain a mystery. Very little is known about the rare and elusive black sea nettle. It wasn't described and named by science until 1997. These jellyfish wander the Pacific between Southern California and Baja, eating phytoplankton and smaller jellies. Fully grown, a black sea nettle's bell can be 3 feet across, with stinging tentacles 25 feet long. About every 10 years, they appear in swarms of hundreds, then vanish into the deep. The Pacific Ocean seems custom-made for secretive carnivores. Every October, great white sharks begin gathering at Guadalupe Island off the coast of Mexico. The males arrive first. At 12 to 16 feet and 2,000 pounds, they are intimidating, but they are dwarfed by the ladies. Females arrive a month later, and they can be giants, up to 20 feet long and 7,000 pounds. Just what they're doing here, no one knows for sure. A congregation of the sexes suggests mating, but pregnant females are here too, perhaps to ambush migrating elephant seals. We have 5 senses. 450 million years of evolution have equipped these apex predators with 7. But they are useless against nets, hooks, and long lines. We once thought females couldn't reproduce until they were 15 years old. We were wrong. Make that 30 years. The silly notion of marauding sharks has begun to fade. So have many species of shark. We kill 100 million every year for sport, baseless folk medicine, even cosmetics. When the festivities at Guadalupe Island wind down, this shark heads east in search of sea lions. He knows exactly where to find them. Towering volcanic cliffs mark the gateway to the Sea of Cortez, a 700-mile-long slice of blue water between mainland Mexico and the Baja Peninsula. This rocky finger of land broke away from the continent about 7 million years ago and began sliding westward. Pacific waters filled the void. The Sea of Cortez is the most diverse sea on the planet, home to more than 5,000 species of fish and invertebrates. Ever-flowing tides, southerly winds, and rising sun-warmed water create strong, deep currents, a ceaseless engine powering this unique ecosystem. The current pulls nutrients from the cold depths, feeding fan corals and plankton. the best fish food there is. Hungry mobulas gather by the hundreds, gliding through the water column. This ancient cousin to the shark is less than 3 feet from tip to tip. Unlike great whites, which have been tracked by satellite for decades, very little is known about mobula migration patterns, where they mate or give birth, but they have only one pup at a time. Scooping up plankton en masse is an effective feeding strategy. It's also dangerous to their very survival. A single commercial fishing boat could decimate this shoal in hours, harvesting their gill plates and fins for distant markets. The mobula has reached near-threatened status. Plankton eaters come in all shapes and sizes, but none is more important than these. Pound for pound, they are probably the most nutritious fish in the world. Sardine, anchovy, and herring, the superfood of the oceans. They feed countless carnivores above and below water. Great schools course through the eastern Pacific and Sea of Cortez, migrating, feeding, spawning. The sardine has one brief mission in life: reproduce before something or someone eats it. When the United States went to war in 1917, so did the sardine. It was the perfect food to can, ship, and feed millions of soldiers. The sardine supply and its uses seemed endless. Animal feed, ingredients for paint and explosives, even soap. Decades without fishing regulations or self-restraint took its toll. By the end of World War II, the sardines were gone. A total collapse of the sardine fishery in the eastern Pacific. It has never fully recovered. A single sardine is helpless, but they create safety in numbers. Disappearing into a flashing ribbon of silver is an excellent way to avoid being singled out and eaten. But not everyone is dazzled by the show. There's always a predator or two that can crack your defenses. Striped marlin find a school of sardine hiding in the deep and drive it upward. Sea lions spot the action and join the hunt. The sardine are surrounded by the fastest pinniped and second fastest billfish on Earth. There's nowhere to run or hide. At 10 feet and 400 pounds, the striped marlin can hit 50 miles per hour. The sardine's last hope is to create a bait ball, tire out their attackers, and disappear into the rocks. The predators carefully time their plunges. Being skewered or rammed could be fatal. Fish blood in the water is like a siren song, calling the hungry from miles away. Sea lions are among the great white's favorite foods, and they know it. This one seems to be just passing through. Still, one brave soul keeps an eye on the interloper, while the others dash back to safety. These hunters will venture nearly 300 miles offshore in search of food. But this is their realm. Shallow, rocky waters. Few creatures navigate crashing waves and ripping currents like the California sea lion. They are indeed the king of the coastline. They can sprint to 25 miles per hour, avoiding predators or catching prey. Unlike their cousin, the seal, this mammal has ear flaps, long front fins to walk on land, and they are highly social. A colony can be 1,500 strong. But there's no doubt who's in charge around here. At 7 feet and more than 800 pounds, this bull has 20 or so females in his harem. There aren't any lazy kings among pinheads, and no one inherits anything from dad. A pretender to the throne must be as big and fat as possible for the breeding season. If he can beat up and drive off the current champion, the bull's job has just begun. He fasts, living off stored blubber while defending his patch of rock from rivals and trying to attract more females. Endless patrolling for predators and troublemakers eventually takes its toll. Most bulls last just a few weeks before a rival sends him packing. Females can reach 6 feet and 220 pounds. And like most parents, there's no rest for the weary. Experienced moms flip upside down to take a breath, their eyes never leaving the little ones. Juveniles are like puppies, full of energy and mischief. Anything interesting needs investigation, becomes a chew toy or a game of keep away. Antagonizing a damselfish is just good, clean fun. But make no mistake, a sea lion will let you know when she's had enough of your nonsense. For all its acrobatic grace, the California sea lion is a champion among deep divers, and built for it. They can collapse their lungs and slow their heart from 90 beats per minute to just 20. Blood is shunted away from tissue that doesn't need much oxygen, so that specialized muscles can grab the extra O2. All of this allows a sea lion to hold its breath for 15 minutes and safely dive to 900 feet in search of squid. Three dozen islands are scattered about the Sea of Cortez. Most were created by explosive volcanic activity. Some are tiny, barren bits of rock. Others are large enough to have their own ecosystem and grow the greatest cacti on Earth. The mighty cardón. These slow-growing succulents, or water-storing plants, can live for hundreds of years. A giant can reach 60 feet high, 9 feet in diameter, and weigh 25 tons. The cardón shrug off the worst hurricanes the Pacific can gin up. They go months on end in this desert oven without a drop of rain. But when it comes to reproduction, this cactus has a problem: pollination. Those nodules near the top are blossoms, but they are sealed tight. Opening them in the heat of the day is a bad idea. Flowers get cooked, and the cactus loses precious water. Mother Nature has a solution: a secret army of pollinators, somewhere down there. Without it, the reign of the mighty cardón would come to an end. When night falls, the blossoms open, emitting a pungent odor. Hungry pallid bats emerge from their caves and crevices and follow their nose. Other bats have evolved long tongues to efficiently extract the flower's nectar. Not the pallid bat, but it's the cardón's best friend. Working hard for every drop of sugary liquid, they are coated with a layer of pollen. Flitting from blossom to blossom like a furry bumblebee, they pollinate the cacti. The bats get an energy drink, and the cardón get to reproduce. Pallid bats are the size of a mouse, with the wingspan of a crow. They're also well equipped to climb, crawl, and hunt. Like other bats, they use echolocation to fly from roosting site to hunting grounds. Then they fall silent. Extra-large ears are exquisitely designed to pinpoint the location and distance of the slightest noise. Sooner or later, the prey reveals itself. In hand-to-hand combat, the scorpion always loses. Some scorpion stings could easily kill a mammal this small, but these ambush predators seem immune to the venom. A pallid bat can eat half its body weight in a night. As the night shift winds down, a whole new set of hunters reports for duty. common dolphin. They prefer shallow coastal water where fish are more easily trapped. Small pods join together, sometimes by the hundreds. Dolphin are among evolution's great masterpieces, perhaps second only to us in intelligence. About 55 million years ago, its ancestor was a wolf-like creature on land that began foraging in swamps and rivers. Eventually, nostrils moved to the top of its head. Finger-like paw bones fused into fins. Aquatic life streamlined and shrank its body, but its brain grew by leaps and bounds. The dolphin as we know it emerged about 10 million years ago. New studies suggest that their echolocation is far more complex than we ever imagined. The dolphin sends a focused train of clicks out into the water like a flashlight beam. The sound bounces back in the shape of the object struck, creating a rapid series of 3D images in the dolphin's brain. Even in pitch-black water, they see the world around them. It's as though they're watching a 3D movie with their ears. Some predators prefer to go it alone. Cormorants have been hunting like this for 70 million years. Its ancestors plied the seas when dinosaurs walked the land. Along with dense bones and wettable feathers, you might think evolution gave it special eyes for hunting underwater. Not so. Down here, they see no better than you do. What they have is great technique. Holding their breath for 3 minutes or more, cormorants can dive 150 feet down. They dash along the bottom or rocky crevices, flush out a fish, and snatch it. These birds work hard for every meal. Others live in a penthouse and get room service. Brown pelican chicks. For now, they're perfectly camouflaged to match the guano-covered rock. It's late morning, and you can almost hear their bellies growling. Each will consume more than 100 pounds of fish before they can fly and hunt on their own. That's 2 months from now. Until then, Mom and Dad are on the job. The pelican may be funny looking to us, but it's a formidable predator. With a wingspan just shy of 7 feet, they glide low over the water, a trick of aerodynamics that rewards less work with more speed. You're looking at a true living fossil, almost unchanged for the past 30 million years. Evolution gave the pelican its stamp of approval when our ancestors were fluffy little monkeys. This is what the pelicans are looking for: sardine. Out here, a splash is a dinner bell. Everyone comes running. Brown pelicans plunge from as high as 100 feet in the air. Just before hitting the water, their body rotates, protecting the neck, throat, and arteries from direct impact. Air sacs under the skin absorb the blow, like a layer of bubble wrap. The shock wave stuns fish 6 feet deep. Their bill expands like a balloon, scooping up 3 gallons of water and sardine. Everyone will eat their fill today. To our eye, the ocean may look like an alien world. Its citizens roaming about, searching for a meal, a place to hide. But there are highways, rest stops, landmarks, and small towns. The big cities are seamounts, ancient volcanoes that don't quite reach the surface. The Pacific has far more than any other ocean. Some are spits of rock a few hundred feet tall. Others are vast mountain ranges so massive that their gravitational pull gathers the ocean up around them, causing a bulge on the surface that can be measured by satellites. Seamounts are so numerous and so large, they comprise the single largest habitat on Earth. Hotspots of life greater than deserts, tundras, or tropical forests. They cover an area larger than South America. Currents flowing across the sea floor strike the rock and are pushed up to the surface. Nutrient-rich water feeds the plankton, and plankton feed giants. Fully grown, giant mantas can be 23 feet across and weigh 3,000 pounds. They have been soaring through the oceans for some 20 million years. Science has just begun to unravel their ancient secrets. These mantas have the largest brain of any fish, bigger than a whale shark, 10 times their size. A manta, like a dolphin, can recognize itself in a mirror. As social animals, they feed cooperatively. We once thought individuals could be identified and counted by their permanent markings. New research indicates that mantas can indeed change their colors and patterns. We may well be counting the same mantas again and again, greatly overestimating their numbers. Like all rays, the demand for their gill plates has exploded. So has the manta hunting business. Females have but one pup every 2 to 7 years. The giant manta is on a fast track to extinction. The Galapagos Islands, off the coast of Ecuador. An 8-million-year-old experiment cooked up by plate tectonics and the Pacific Ocean. Land iguanas washed up here about the time the islands were formed. Some went inland, others adapted to life on shore. Measuring in at 28 pounds and 4 feet long, males are 3 times the size of females. But this is what makes them unique. The Galapagos marine iguana is the world's only sea-going lizard. These agile swimmers can hold their breath for up to an hour. They're probably the most dangerous-looking vegetarians you'll ever meet. Buffeted by waves and currents, the iguana grips the rock with its powerful claws and fills up on algae. The Galapagos sit smack on the equator, but this is no tropical beach. A powerful current from Antarctica sweeps up the coast of South America and courses through the islands. These waters are full of nutrients and thoroughly chilled. A 10-minute swim can steal 1/3 of a reptile's body heat, so they only feed once a day. The rest of their time is spent warming back up, conserving energy. Special nose glands clean excess salt from their blood. The biggest males gather harems of females, and that means keeping challengers at bay. A bobbing head is the age-old warning. Don't make me come over there. But when your bluff is called, you go to battle. The only thing hurt is the loser's pride. If iguanas are the old-timers around here, meet the new kid on the block. The giant Galapagos tortoise. They split with the Argentine tortoise just 2 million years ago. Like the iguana, enough washed up here to reproduce, and evolution worked its magic. It's a phenomenon called island gigantism. No predators, no competitors, and unlimited food can quickly turn a little guy into a monster, one that eats salad and naps 16 hours a day. Fully grown, they can reach 5 feet across and more than 500 pounds. This herbivore can survive without food or water for up to a year, a spectacular feat of adaptation that nearly destroyed them. When whalers and pirates realized the tortoise could provide fresh meat for months on end, the pillaging began and continued for 200 years. Though they are protected today, only 10% remain. Studying the curious creatures of the Galapagos inspired Darwin's theory of natural selection. But he only saw half the story here on land. The rest is out there. The Galapagos Islands sit at the intersection of three major Pacific Ocean currents, from the south, north, and west. Three streams of nutrients from the deep, serving up a buffet of plankton, krill, fish eggs, and crab larvae. Migrating whale sharks gather here to feast. This is the largest fish that has ever lived, averaging 30 feet long and 20,000 pounds. Some get far bigger. It takes a staggering amount of energy to power these docile creatures. As the shark rams through the water, super-efficient filter pads direct it out of the gills as fast as it comes in, trapping food in its throat. In the right conditions, a whale shark can consume 3 million calories in a day. And when they find an especially rich patch of plankton, they hover in place and vacuum it up. Like a five-star hotel, the Galapagos draws customers from far and wide. Humpback whales from the Antarctic rendezvous here to mate. Sea turtles entrust their eggs to the island's sandy beaches. And in the deep, exclusive clubs meet in secret. This is one of the last places on Earth where the scalloped hammerhead gathers in numbers. During the day, they cruise close to shore. You won't see them wasting energy chasing fish. These predators hunt with state-of-the-art technology. The curves on their cephalofoil, or hammer-shaped head, give it more surface area and more receptors to detect electrical fields. The advantage comes at night, when they venture into open water. Hammerheads navigate by the Earth's magnetic field, and dinner comes to them. Under the cover of darkness, squid rise from the depths to feed. They find an army of hammerheads in wait. They hone in on the minute electrical currents in the squid's nervous system and capture them in pitch-black water. These sharks once sat atop the food chain. Today, they top the poacher's wish list. The scalloped hammerhead disappeared from the Mediterranean in the 1960s. 89% are gone from the Atlantic, 99% gone from the waters of South Africa. It takes 15 years to replace just one poached female. Even these shoals in the Galapagos are but a shadow of what once was. created by shifting continents and molten rock. Reaching from Asia to the Americas, from pole to pole. These waters reigned supreme before humans walked the earth. It touches every creature in every ocean and sustains life on land. The wild Pacific.